Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Beer and Money. My name is Ryan Burklow,
And I'm Alex Collins.
and we've got some pretty important news that we want to share with you today. As this podcast has progressed over time, so have Alex and I. In theory, our wives might argue differently, but uh, we wanted to go through a couple things when it comes to this podcast because we are going to be rebranding the podcast.
Big, scary, but it's not actually going to be big and scary.
Yeah, it's really not a big shift. We're still going to be talking about money, but we're going to be talking about it more so in the way that we've been talking about it probably the last like 15 episodes or so, right? Like Alex, we started Beer and Money, for those of you who don't know, we used to go to Amazon's campus and we would, I'm drawing a blank on the restaurant, but we'd rent out
Brave Horse.
Brave Horse. That's right. We'd rent out a room and we would buy everyone a beer, and we'd provide some burgers and whatnot. It'd be like a kind of a lunch and learn where we would
Mhm.
come in and just talk about money. And Alex and I understood that talking about money isn't necessarily fun for everybody and can feel stressful. And so the beer piece came into play from the standpoint of we wanted it to be like a campfire relaxed setting where, that tradition where you're kind of, you're having a drink with your friends and you just, shooting the what, right? And we called it Beer and Money, by the way.
Mhm. As a
And
marketing ploy to get people to actually come.
yeah. And after one of the sessions, someone came up and said, "Hey, did you record that?" And of course, we didn't.
Ryan and I turned to each other and we went, no, but we will.
And that transitioned into us starting to record the podcast. And so it was never really about the beer per se. It was more of just a relaxed setting is really what we wanted to present. And so
Fireside chat, campfire chat, just relax. Like, take the stress and just get that out of the conversation so that we can have an honest, open conversation around money without bringing in all of the as one of our former mentors would say, agita.
yeah. So over time, though, it has really kind of started to feel incomplete. And what we mean by that is, as you probably have heard, over the last 15, 20 episodes, we've really kind of shifted towards talking about money and what it pertains to life, right? I've constantly made the joke of, life isn't lived on a spreadsheet. And that's what a lot of people, when they look at money, they use this
What?
trajectory. Yeah, this linear trajectory as if like that's how money works. And that's not what money's all about. And our clients kept asking us, like, Ryan, Alex, we get what you're doing. Like, we see the dollars, like the trajectories, but how do we make that? Like, how does that help us with our life? How do we hit our goals? How do we spend more time with our family? And that's when things started to shift, even in Alex and in our personal worlds, Alex, right? Like,
Mhm.
I think we've learned a lot from our clients. We've recorded an episode on that very piece where it's not about the money.
It isn't.
It's about what we get to do because we have the money, like what it allows you to live and spend more time with who and doing what and the people that you love and care about.
Well, and it allows you to go through some of the bumpy, rocky times with a bit more certainty and confidence and less having to worry about like, ooh, I was living paycheck to paycheck and now holy crap, what do I do now? Um, not a whole lot of our clients are there, but at the same time, it's a lot of our clients are in situations where when we meet them, they don't have liquidity. They are living paycheck to paycheck, even though they've got a very robust balance sheet. And they're like, there's like half the time we have like conversations around like, hey, this is coming up. How the heck do I pay for it? I've got all these assets. Where do I pull it from?
Yeah, as we've worked more and more with higher net worth individuals, right? The conversation isn't necessarily like how do I grow my wealth? It's more of what am I trying to build in my life? And that was like an aha moment that Alex and I had. And that's part of the reason of this shift. And
Hmm.
that's what we're wanting to, we're wanting to help people transition with that. Right. So, with that being said, the new name of the podcast is Built for Life, Not Just Wealth.
Love it, man.
So again, it's built, meaning it's intentional, right? This future forward thinking. It's intentional design, not accidental. It's for life, meaning it's for family, keeping your health in check, meaning, and it's not just for
It's
wealth.
for the life that you want to live. It's intentional by design, and the design choice is yours.
Yep.
Like, it's open architecture.
And here's the thing: like you can win financially and still lose the life that you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen more and more of that occur.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want to help with. So what's like moving forward? What's going to be staying the same? Like Alex and I, like we're still going to have honest conversations, right? You're going to get this type of talk. We're still going to get into the analytics a bit because, as you all know, we have Alex Collins on the show, so that's what he does, and it's what he's good at, right? So we're going to bring that piece in, but then we're also going to tie it into real life, practical situations, real life application with deeper life context. Like that's a big piece. And then I just want to put this teaser out there. We're going to bring in other professionals that may not be in the financial world that can bring that together. Because the fact is I think we all want to be healthy, right? We all want to make sure our affairs are in order. We all want to make sure that we're living this life where we're spending time with our family, right? Some of that, a lot of that isn't necessarily wealth oriented, although we need to have the wealth to maybe choose where to spend it or have the time to do that. But we're going to bring that piece in, which I'm excited about, Alex.
What? So, Ryan, are you and I still going to occasionally crack a beer?
Oh, absolutely.
Can listeners crack a beer anytime they want?
Absolutely. I hope they do.
As long as you're not driving. Don't drive.
Yes. Caveat there, disclaimer, compliance. Right? So a lot of this is going to be staying the same. The title is changing. We're going to morph it a little bit more towards real life application and what the money can do for you, wealth as a tool, not just for the practicality of building wealth, right? Money matters, but the life it supports matters more.
A whole lot more.
So that's what this show is going to be built for. And I would love
Please.
to end it on this tagline: design your future so powerful, it reshapes your present. So with that being said, look forward to the conversations moving forward. For you listeners, don't be surprised when you see new podcast art and obviously the new name. And now you know why that all changed. As always, Mr. Collins.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not to be construed as tax, legal, or investment advice. Although the information has been gathered from sources believed to be reliable, please note that individual situations can vary. Therefore, the information should be relied upon only when coordinated with individual professional advice. Guest speakers and their firms are not affiliated with or endorsed by Park Avenue Securities, Guardian, or Quantified Financial Partners, and opinions stated are their own. Guardian, its subsidiaries, agents, and employees do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. Consult your tax, legal, or accounting professional regarding your individual situation. All investments and investment strategies contain risk and may lose value. This material is intended for general public use. By providing this content, Park Avenue Securities LLC is not undertaking to provide investment advice or a recommendation for any specific individual or situation, or to otherwise act in a fiduciary capacity. Please contact a financial representative for guidance and information that is specific to your individual situation. Ryan and Alex are registered representatives and financial advisors of Park Avenue Securities LLC, OSJ 200 Market Street, Suite 1850, Portland, Oregon 97201. Phone number 503-221-1226. Securities products and advisory services offered through Park Avenue Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. Financial representatives of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is a wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Quantified Financial Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or Guardian. Ryan Burklow, CA Insurance License Number 0K24924. Alexander Collins, CA Insurance License Number 0H24806.
8701-820.1, expiration date January 2028.